Hello, guys. Good day. This is Anne, your fellow positive reinforcer. Today, we're going to talk about anxiety and how to make it, to turn it into your superpower. Now, I'd say that to some people, when they're anxious, too much, overwhelmingly anxious, they just they just cancel things. They procrastinate. It's like they repel the energy of those thoughts that they might gonna fail, they might gonna get rejected, those negative thoughts that which we'll never know that most probably might not gonna happen if you do something about it. Now, I'm also an anxious person. It's just that I don't think about it as a threat most of the time. Well, I have messed up a lot of things in my life, and I don't think that I could ever avoid messing up as long as I'm alive. I'll just make sure that when there are some important things that's gonna happen, like a presentation that would even get me a promotion, that would give me an opportunity in exchange. If that would ever happen, I will just prepare and give my best performance, even though that performance wouldn't be the things that I thought a day before. I'll just have to make sure to myself that I am well prepared. Because, I've messed up a lot. And I don't think that will ever end. I'll just have to do my best. And I have accepted that already. Somehow it took me time to realize that thing until this age. When I was younger, taking exams, giving my presentation in front of the people, even just simple reports in the class, that will already make me nervous. Before the reporting, I have to do some kind of brisk walking outside the room. Sometimes, I have to go to the toilet and then just jump a little bit to release the excess energy that, if I mess this up, what's going to happen? Just to divert my attention. And there are moments wherein, those project presentations in nursing, like case presentations, sometimes I have to walk back and forth on the stairs before I do that. Yeah, because the stress is kind of overwhelming, even though I know what I'm going to say, but it's just that, the thoughts of, having the feeling of being anxious is just flying inside my head. That's why I have to divert it. And, the way, even though I already prepared my reports, the way I present it is not perfectly the way I wanted to do it a day before. It'll be different, which means that that's my best. And somehow it worked out. Not perfectly, but it did work out. And by merely facing those instances wherein I thought I'm going to mess up, I just face it. I just show up. Somehow I pass. It's not really yes, it's a big deal because I pass. I pass the test, the reporting, and it also, as time goes by, although I didn't get the good grades in all scenarios and all happenings of the way I presented my project before, at least I passed. I just show up, and I'm also aware that I'm not the smartest person. I just have to show up. Now, in all those years, I've learned that anxiety is, in some point, it's good. Good in a way that, it has some kind of energy that it gives you, which is what we call fight or flight energy. Like, oh, I can't do this. I feel scared. I might gonna mess up. I might gonna say the wrong things. My classmates might gonna reject me. Might gonna laugh at me. So I'm talking about giving reports or giving speech. I also gave speeches before. When I was younger during the class. Those are small time. Those are even memorized speeches. Somehow, there was a time that I forgot a word that I have to stop and remember what the heck of that word. But then I still stop and just pick that up and then just smile. Now I'm telling you again, those were the days wherein I get a good grades. I get just enough grade for me to pass. And I all those years, even up to this moment, I would still experience the fight or flight energy, fight or flight reaction. Even seeing a needle putting into my vein, I still feel that. Or assisting a doctor to a new procedure that I've never done assisting before. So that gives me energy of increased heart rate, focus that, oh my gosh, am I gonna miss anything? And that also, since it's overwhelmingly that I'm perfectly imperfect at that time, that I have to let the person know that it's my first time. I'm not a perfect assist, during the procedure. By the way, I work as a nurse, so that's normal. This time I work in an outpatient. Yeah, it's not much of a problem. But before, I was in medical surgical, so I assisted doctors to some kind of procedures that I've never encountered before, until it got into a point that it became a routine in the area. So instead of resisting that fight and flight reaction in my body whenever I feel anxious, I redirect it instead to focus more on what is in front of me. And in the most part, when it's my first time, when I feel overwhelmed, I let others know about it. I become more honest about what's really going on inside my head, so that people ought to understand that I need help, or if I ever mess up, they would still understand and somehow help me. I need help. And when when you're aware about what's really happening, that actually increases the level of your performance. That you're confident that you're gonna somehow make it to the end of that session. Like, for example, I'm actually scared of reporting though in English. So we report in English before in the Philippines, even in Saudi, and even here in Ireland. Yeah, of course, it's English. So yeah, I don't speak perfect English, and I have to think what I have to say. Somehow people would, if there are things that I would say that people would understand, they would ask it for sure. But knowing that, knowing the situation though, it helped me focus on what really matters, rather than resisting that energy that I might get all this thing wrong. So I just focus on what really matters, and that is to finish the job. And the second thing I would suggest to make your anxiety as a superpower, is that reframe the feeling as an excitement. It's self-talk helps a lot. I even give out to myself. I argue with myself. And instead of telling me, I would suggest that, I would tell myself, I'm excited. And I would also suggest it to you, that instead of telling yourself, oh, I'm nervous, I'm excited. I'm excited to share what I've learned. I'm excited to share my skills, to teach people, to share people about what I have, my knowledge. And shifting the interpretation changes how your brain processes it, that you are really effing excited, not overwhelmed. And it's also, the third thing is that it's also important to consider anxiousness as a signal or a data. Ask yourself, what is this anxiety trying to tell me right now? What am I missing? For example, you're about to take an exam tomorrow, or present your report. What am I missing? Which area should I research more so I can give full details about it? What area should I study? Am I really prepared? And you study, you prepared more. Prepare more for the upcoming test tomorrow, or reporting. So awareness can guide you a better decision, and of course preparation. To get your act together and that for the upcoming challenge that you're looking forward to. Now, the fourth thing is that knowing that anxiety is a data. Now it's time to boost your preparation. That's actually the key to success. That is the optimum remedy to anxiety, anxiousness, apprehension, is preparation. whatever it is, financial, you save money, for if you worry about, if you're anxious about what's going to happen to you when you're 65, save money, do whatever it takes for you at the moment, what you can do at the moment so that you can be ready for your 65, sorry about that, 65-year-old self. Or if you're doing a business presentation tomorrow, you're trying to ask people to invest in your startups, so you better be well prepared about whatever data you have to present to convince them to invest in you. And you also have to be prepared, just to prepare yourself that it's not just about the business presentation, it's about you who's going to do and build the business. And it's a whole lot of sacrifices. So that's part of the preparation. Not only the business, not only the presentation, not only getting yourself more knowledge. Like, for example, if you're taking an exam, it's not about just that. It's about yourself, that you've done all, you're ready for all areas that might pop up in the exam. Though I'm talking about questions, you get yourself ready to tell yourself that I'm ready for tomorrow. Whatever it is, pass or fail, it is what it is. I've already done my part. I've studied hard. And moderate anxiety keep you from procrastinating or being careless. You need some anxiety to increase your focus, whatever you're doing. I'm talking about if you're doing new things that you haven't done before. And that anxiety that you feel increases your focus, makes you feel vulnerable to ask help from those people who can do the job better, so that you can borrow their skills, learn from those skills that they have, and then install it in you, and you make improvements out of that. And when I say boost your preparation, because you already got the signal, the anxiety that, gives you awareness about what really matters, then practice. Train yourself, rehearse to sharpen your mind and skills. And to cope up with the feeling of being overwhelmed an hour before, a minute before, or like 5 minutes, 10 minutes before the presentation, if you're really nervous about what's going to happen, you're not a people person, you're quote unquote introvert. Look, it's also important to know how to balance that overwhelming feeling caused by anxiety. So how to do it? Now, just like what I did before, I've done the movement, brisk walking before the class reporting, before the case presentation. Brisk walking and also workout helps a lot. Whatever you have in mind for the upcoming project or presentation in the morning, the following day, weeks, you can do workout and give it all to your weights. Look, workout can give you positive vibes, give you time to think over what have you missed in preparation for your upcoming presentation or upcoming project, whatever it is, whatever causes your anxiety. Working out gives you time and, of course, energy to think it over. What have you missed, so that you can sort it out. Sort it out in time. And you might want to consider breathing exercises before your presentation, or whenever you feel anxious, whenever you feel, should I say, excited, before the presentation or during the presentation, before the performance or during the performance. Deep breathing. It gives you oxygen, gives oxygen to your brain. And then it keeps your muscles relaxed and you can think. You're aware. You're still aware about what's really going to happen, what's happening in the midst of your performance at hand. And lastly, it's important to take that anxiety as, consider it as a growth opportunity, an opportunity for you and me to improve instead of looking at it as a threat. When you feel anxious, It's time to level up. And how? How? Prepare, rehearse, practice, train, so that when the time comes, you are fully ready. You might gonna get the promotion, you might gonna get the reward, whatever, in exchange to your effort. You might gonna make it. But as to me before, nervously delivering my report in front of my classmates. I don't even know if I say it right, because my English is my second language, so we have to do the reporting in English. So somehow I passed. It worked. It's not perfect, but there are moments wherein I did it great. There are moments wherein I just averagely just did my part. But somehow, overall, though, I passed the test. And just to let you know, since it's important to think or treat anxiety as a growth opportunity. It's important also to, we already said it's important. You have to think about it that it's normal. Nobody is ever exempted to feel anxious. Even the richest people in the world feel anxious. All of us, rich, poor, ladies and gentlemen, we all feel anxious. Especially in doing things that we've never done before. And I am here to share that. To share this, this info to you that, anxiety isn't that bad at all. You can take advantage to it. And without it, you might not get an opportunity to improve without being anxious. Because anxiety gives you a signal which area which area where you need improvements. It could be your health, when you check your weight, better get my act together and do the workout. Your relationship, did I do things right today? So whenever you ask that question, whenever you get that feeling, there might be something wrong that I did. That's a little bit of anxiety, just enough anxiety. Which means that you care. And you want to give your best. So I hope I shared something valuable today. If you ever love this episode, you can share this to your family and friends. You can follow me in YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, even an X. Reinforce Me Club. By the way, this is Anne, your fellow positive reinforcer. I do appreciate your time and have a lovely day ahead. Thank you.